All right, everybody, we're live again. Jason Sloan here with Jose Ornelas and
Hi guys.
David Estes with Elite Roofing and also the Roofing Academy.
Correct.
You guys you and Randy and all the guys need to get new shirts that have both patches on pretty soon.
Yeah, he would probably charge me for that, so I don't want to do that yet.
Yeah, that's so good. So tell us about the ball incident that Randy did the video of a few years back.
Which one? You have to remind me a little bit. The ball incident.
So you evidently had convinced Randy to order a bunch of stress balls.
Oh,
business development, and then him and the other guy dumped them all over you.
Yeah, that's right. So I was sitting in my desk. It was across the way, not this one. I've switched offices a lot, but still the same office complex, but it's on the other side of the building. And I think we ordered 2,000 stress balls in order to drop around for our business development, and they're technically like hail balls and just funny things to bring by and say, hey, if you're stressed out, throw this at your neighbor or your coworker over there while they're sleeping. And he took about 2,000 stress balls, and while my back was turned, he dumped them over the top of my head. And I was on cleanup duty as well. He didn't even help clean up after his prankster joke. But yeah, that was pretty funny experience for sure.
So did passing out those stress balls, is that one of the things that worked to propel you to where you're at today?
Yeah, I mean, that's what started out in business development. You try to start off getting to know people, and after a while you start bringing some swag because they're tired of seeing your face. They maybe want a little bit of something else. And I stopped talking about roofing after a while. I just brought in a funny stress ball that had Elite Roofing, said "Got Hail" on it with my cell phone number. And we started throwing them at people around offices, and they took off well. And I think there's some people out there in the world that still have them to this day. So yeah, it was a good investment for the company for sure.
That's good. So give us your background, where you grew up and how you got into roofing and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I can do that for sure. So when I was born in Central Illinois, my birth certificate said I was born in Normal, Illinois, but I never claimed to be normal. It's the Bloomington Normal is the headquarters of State Farm there in Central Illinois. So a lot of my close family works at State Farm headquarters. When I was about 10 years old, I moved west of St. Louis. Then I went back to college back in Illinois at Millikan University, just south of Bloomington, in town. I think it's Decatur, Illinois, is where I went to college. Played college football there. I took the easy job and just long snapped. I just loved being around my teammates and all my buddies. So loved college football. And then when I was done with college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I moved back to the St. Louis area, lived with my parents for a couple of weeks, and realized when you're 21 years old, you should probably not, or 20, whatever year old, when you graduate college, you should probably live by yourself versus your parents. So found a roommate, then went to downtown St. Louis and lived there for a few years. And I started off in the flooring business. I joined a union, was actually installing carpet tile, VCT, very apprenticeship-based organization. So I learned that trade, and then a job came up to be a flooring estimator. I didn't even know what an estimator was or how they worked or whatever. But then I grew into about 5 to 6 years of my life just reading blueprints and estimating flooring. Over multiple years and seeing thousands of blueprints, I pretty much got tired of looking at blueprints. Things were going south with the owner of the company that I was working for. And, I'm not going to mention no names, but I ended up, I moved to Denver in 2010 to this place called Ballpark Lofts. It's right downtown by Coors Field is where I moved to. And Randy was one of the guys I met at the swimming pool in the first week of living in the place. So I knew 0 people in Denver, met Randy with one of the first. And then a few months after that, Cody moved from Phoenix back to Denver. So I got to meet Cody. And, I was still working in the flooring business from 2010 to 2015. And then 2015, Randy said, hey, man, I need you to come work for me. And he goes, I'm tired of seeing you stressed out at your other job. And I said, well, what am I going to do? He goes, you're going to do what you do best. Go talk to people. So I started doing business development with Randy in 2015. And then I switched from business development. There was a time I got a commercial lead. And I said, Randy, what are we supposed to do with this? It's a flat roof. How do we do those? Because I was new to the business. I didn't barely know what shingles were, let alone flat roofing. So I was kind of goofy, and I landed right into a flat roofing job. I ended up selling it, and I've switched to commercial sales ever since then. I started in flat roofing versus most people starting in shingles and switching to flat roofing. I started in flat. It's a lot easier to sell white or black versus all those other colors that people like to choose in that shingle world. So that's how I got started.
Nice.
And then I asked probably 40, 50,000 questions in the past 7 years to actually understand flat roofing before I got it, right? Kyle Larson that works for Furtado Law, he helped me out a lot. A couple of my reps helped me out. So that's where I really started.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. So how does the new solar program you guys have going on, are you guys, obviously with commercial, it can be difficult because a lot of times a person owns a building and they don't have their office there. So they don't care about solar on some of those situations.
Yeah. So yeah, the solar thing's going to be great. We are not doing it commercially. It's only for our residential side of the business. And we are partnered with SunPower. SunPower is what they claim to have the best panel or the best absorption of light into the panel to create the most efficiency, which it really is true once you see the panels. But other panels have a lot of copper showing on that solar panel. I don't know what a little blue square. And they got some copper on top of that. Copper reflects light, right? The SunPower ones are solid blue, and they're meant to absorb more light. So we can actually put less panels up on people's roofs and create more efficiency from the panel, since we're not reflecting any of the light, we're absorbing most of it.
Is that maybe in the works if you get somebody that's got, a guy that's got a manufacturing plant or something in Denver or another area you're working? Is that something that's could be in the pipeline for the future? Because there's a lot of guys that are doing commercial jobs, around the country, they're trying to get into it. And that's why we're talking to you about this. But since
you guys talking on the solar world or on the flat roofing world?
Well, on the solar. So that, because I have seen it on a few places, but it's usually like a manufacturing where they own their own building.
Yeah, so at Elite Roofing, we do not touch anything commercial, and it won't happen. Doing the networking that I have done over my life, I do have a commercial solar company on my side, so I can refer them out and go help them sell the job. But at Elite Roofing, we will not be selling any type of commercial things. The commercial solar takes a lot more, right? They're longer sales cycles, slower pay. And then they take like an engineer, and there's a lot of extra stuff that has to go into the commercial work. So yeah, at the time we're just sticking to the residential house. It doesn't matter if it's a flat or shingled roof in residential, but yeah, they just don't want to do commercial projects at this time.
Okay. And tell us about what you do with the coaching side at the Roofing Academy.
Yeah, so I work with Randy at the Roofing Academy, and I do the business to business coaching. So basically, I've done business to business since 2015, kind of probably when it wasn't so popular back then. But I have created a way that I feel is a good way to not learn the business and just trying to figure it out yourself. Since I've been doing it for so long, I think I've got some good points that I coach and help people understand what it takes to do business development, how to talk to the customers, the questions to ask those customers when you're there, the different customers to reach out to, how to network. I mean, there are many companies, Jason, out there that knock doors, right? And I've sold and brought in leads of almost $24 million worth of work in 7 years. And I do not knock any doors. I'm not knocking those people that do knock doors, because it is a part of the business. But my personal personality, I'm not a door knocking guy. I would rather network with somebody, figure out who they know, and then have them give me a lead to go talk to those people versus just knocking on doors. So I think it's a really funny story. I got a business card here in my wallet. I won't show the name, but it's there sticking up that I was just had a Subway, having a 6-inch Subway sandwich yesterday down in Lone Tree or Meridian, whatever they call that part of town. And there was an agent sitting in there. I was like, "Hey, I'm David with Elite Roofing. Nice to meet you." Well, come to find out, this guy went to college in the same state or in the same city I was born in Normal, Illinois. So we hit it off right away, but I was just having a Subway sandwich and networking. So I'm always networking. You never know who you're going to sit by. You never know who you're going to talk to. So yeah, my motto is ABN. Instead of ABC always be closing, I'm ABN, always be networking.
Yeah, because a lot of times you can make these relationships, which obviously you have with these agents and everything, but as you know, recently we really haven't had a lot of hail in the Colorado market.
You're right, but you gotta think of it a couple different ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not been any hail, but you got to think those agents know a lot of people themselves too,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And they'll get somebody call and say, "Hey, my roof is leaking." I'm more than happy to take care of a leak, So it doesn't networking with insurance agents still is not bad because there's no hail. They've got a lot of book of business, and their customers call with frustrations that you can help solve.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was really getting at. It wasn't like, oh, well, you're gonna get tomorrow, but
Yeah,
it's one of those things. We did a lot of repairs in 2016, and 17 blew all those roofs away. And those people, who did they call? They called us right away.
correct.
Just I'm sure they did with you guys with all of your guys' service work that you guys do.
Yeah, it really is amazing in this world how much people really, really, really love the people that service them, if that makes sense. So we actually lost a job recently that we had the lowest price, which is good sometimes, right? But we lost a job to somebody that has been to that property before and serviced it. They were just familiar with that name. So it's not kind of nice to get out there and do that service work first, and then you can come back and help work on those properties after they recognize your name. So doing service in this commercial work is your game plan to getting bigger jobs later. I had a perfect example. I've been repairing this roof for probably the past 3 years, and it's a multi-million-dollar satellite. There's a bunch of multi-million-dollar satellites in this lab, and recently I just got the signed contract to re-roof the whole thing. So doing $200 repair here, $1,000 repair here, ended up leading to about $130,000 re-roof job. So if you got to service these people and make them feel comfortable with your what you do to help them, and then when it comes time to really get this stuff done, that's when it pays off. But it's
Yeah,
not
and this
overnight. You don't do that. You don't just going to jump in and do this overnight. You're in for the long game.
yes, like this trust relationship will help you also with, for example, friends. I don't know, people around will see the roof and how you work and how you service this customer, and probably they will like to follow them
You're correct, Jose.
and
Yeah,
hire
man.
your
Like
services.
absolutely. Yeah, your reputation, how you treat people, how you service them, and how you take care of people really does pay off. And I think the way that I tell people is I know where my bread is buttered, if that makes sense. I know you gotta know who treats you well, and then you can treat them well back. And if you treat everybody well, that's just my motto. And I know it sounds dumb, but I'm an honest roofer. There's not very that saying is kind of a strange saying, and people don't always believe it. But when you're talking to David Estes at Elite Roofing and dealing with me at the TRA, I'm giving you my honest opinion, because if I lie to you one time, how am I going to remember how I lied to you? So I'm just honest from the get-go. So that's what the customers just get comfortable with me. I'm not really a sales guy. I'm more of your friend, and let's figure out how we do this together. So
Yeah, we
Yeah, and
do.
you're doing the customer service part great, because we need always to build this customer service. Every time you have a company, you need to set up the rules for the customer service so every client can feel that their needs are covered. David.
I
Jason.
think you're right, Jose. I think the way we would explain it's more like the customer experience. You
The
want to have
customer
a high
experience
customer experience, and if you can keep carrying that on, and then you're going to have some high customers and a lot of return business that way,
and
Yep.
referrals.
and
That's
referrals.
like
Yep,
the most important part.
you're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, our goal, like, I have these guys. Well, we don't. I always tell our potential clients, I like to under promise and over deliver. Our whole goal is to deal with that custom price list. Do we get it every time? No. If we got it every time, every roof I'd be batting people away, saying, no, I know your reputation. I don't want to even meet with you. I don't have time for you. I just
Yeah,
want to meet with these 5 guys, and I have plenty of business, right? That's
yeah.
not how, that's not real life. You have to go through different people and figure it out.
I take that. I take that under promise over deliver pretty serious as well. I don't. If you over promise and you can't come through, then you look like a jerk. But if you give them expectations that are realistic, that you think that your company can provide, and then you come in a little bit faster, that looks great. I've got a perfect opportunity, to send out a price. Hey, I'm going to get it to you on Friday. Well, if I can get it to them on Thursday, let's get it to them on Thursday. You said, hey, at least you set the expectation and you beat your thing. This stresses my wife out, but I did the same. When I was in the flooring business in St. Louis, I was doing the estimating there as well. I had a salesman in the flooring business that told me if you're 15 minutes early, you're late. And I have lived by that motto as well. I always want to be early or on time and just create that customer experience from the get-go. Because if you're late on that very first appointment, that doesn't start off the fight very good. You gotta respect people's time and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, me and Jose deal with that a lot as far as waiting for contractors to get on us. But every once in a while, you get the one guy who's there 5 minutes early. Where are you at? And then you're just like, well, I'll be right there.
Yeah, I was on I don't remember I think it was maybe a year ago at this time, and I was on one of Randy's podcasts with Nick, and I got to meet some of the clients at the Roofing Academy's annual event that was fantastic. And one of the guys there is like, hey, I got to meet one of the celebrities on the show. I'm like, wait. No, there's no celebrity here. This is just Dave, man. Like, I'm no one important. I'm just Dave.
Yeah. Same thing with, people know me because I've been around for a long time, but doing these shows, it's more so that people know who you are. But yeah, it's like, but that's part of the reason we do the show is there's these people that seem larger than life, and it's like, no, they're normal people. They just, whether they're a lawyer who's done big things or whatever, ultimately it's just a different job and they've took a different path. That's about it,
Absolutely.
So, and every once in a while, it's the roll of the dice that worked out pretty good in their favor too. So
that's funny.
So what do you like to do? Obviously, you got your wife and your son. What do you like to do when you're not working?
Well, I actually just had a second son. He came a little unexpected, but we've got a 6-year-old and a 3-month-old at the house. And to be honest, I'm a sports fanatic. I love everything to do with sports, keeping track of them, watching my teams, and my 6-year-old is just keeping me alive on that, man. He goes down and those damn Alexa people from the Alexa thing that you can talk to. He's figured out how to tell, hey, Alexa, what's the Nuggets score? What's the Cubs score? What's the Avalanche score? What's the Blues score? So every morning I wake up, my kid wakes up 20 minutes before me and, hey, Daddy, wanted to let you know the Blues won the game last night. I was like, well, thanks, man. So I've really been enjoying that, enjoying this little, he's starting to play some soccer, but and my wife, she doesn't really care about sports. It's not really her thing. But one thing that we absolutely love to do together is go camping. We got a 23-foot pull behind camper that we go. We got 7 to 12 camping events this year alone, booked up to where we're going to spend our weekends as a family and get out there and just enjoy sleeping in the camper. The kid, when the camper comes home from the parking spot, my 6-year-old runs up and gives it a hug. And, it's one of his favorite things to do. So that's our big passion in the summers, getting out and going camping and spending a little family time together. It'll be interesting now with the baby. We'll see how he does, but he seems to be pretty chill so far, but we'll see how he enjoys camping. So, but now the thing is you got to arrange the kids' soccer tournaments and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot of organization that has to happen.
Yeah. It's like a fourth job, right?
That's where the enjoyment is. That's why you work hard,
Yeah, exactly.
So you can provide the fun things for those kids.
So you have any other nuggets points for, guys getting into doing commercial or to take it to the next level?
Just patience, when it gets slow, be more than happy to take care of that small leak. Like I said before, I think that's huge. Network, get in front of these groups, get in front of social groups, figure out who power partners are of your owners, figure out, there's all kinds of different leads groups out there, BNI groups. I'm not in any of those because I do too much networking. I can't just concentrate all on one networking group because I have too many. But yeah, man, stay with it, ask questions, rely on your reps. That's how I learned most of my information. Find yourself a good distributor, stick with that distributor. And then, you got to have a team. Like there is zero chance I couldn't do it without my great team that I have here. We've got a project coordinator. I got an estimator. I got who also does project management. I've got an assistant project manager, and we actually have another sales guy named Clayton. So if it wasn't for our team, I would have zero chance of being successful because with ADD that I have, I can't keep track of everything that's going on. So you got to have somebody that can help, and you got to be out there, be the face of the company to sell it, and then you got to provide your promise. Don't you got to follow up on what you told them you're going to do. If you said, "Hey, I'm going to be here on Tuesday," you better be there on Tuesday. And if you're going to provide them a price on Friday, you better have them a price on Thursday. Be respectful to your clients, ask lots of questions, and the big thing is listen. Listen to what they want. Listen to why they're calling you. Why did you call me? Why haven't you used your other roofer? How many times they've been here to fix it? Well, they've been here 7 times. They can't get it right. Well, that's one of my biggest things that I love to do is solve roofing frustrations. Ryan Groth, who is one of my coaches, I'm sure you've met him before.
Mm-hmm.
He's a sales coach of mine, does a great job over at this sales transformation group. So yeah, you learn a lot. Even the guys over with Randy, you learn a lot from Randy's group. So yeah, there's a lot of good things that you can learn. And I'm not saying I'm a master of Ryan Gross's thing, but I take for sure a lot of good nuggets from it. And I learn a lot from what he has to say. The same with Randy. He teaches me some new stuff. And you got to have a process. That's and having a sales process, I don't know if I can show you can you see that board over there?
Mm-hmm.
That is just the novel of a process of what it takes by the time you get a lead to follow up with the lead and to get an actual job signed, and then what you do after you get it signed, how to get it done. Like I said, I might not be the best salesman, but I do two things greatly. And I'd say to be successful in this business, you need to do these two things. Is you need to be able to communicate, and you need to be able to follow up. It's absolutely stupid how many people never follow up after sending a bid. Like, why did you send the bid? I'm going to follow up with you until you tell me to stop following up with you. You took my time to make me get this price. I'm not just going to send you this price and say, "Hey, there's your price. Have a good one." Well, guess what? You wanted my price. I'm going to follow up with you until you say, "Hey, stop following up with me." Well, you're the one that took my time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to annoy you until you tell me to stop.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's been good.
Some guys don't get that. I mean, it's the same thing with door knocking. Me and Kyle back in the day were very successful because we didn't just knock once and leave. We would take over a neighborhood. We'd be planning our stakes down, and then keep those people that said no. We never counted it as a no. We counted it as a not right now.
Not right
and
now.
It's like, people don't trust. That's just how it is. We don't know you. Well, nobody's getting their roofs done. Well, all of a sudden you're putting signs in, you're loading material, and then all of a sudden they're calling you.
Yeah, I think in 2022, 2021, the roofing business is changing. If you watch social media, it's almost overwhelming on all the different people reaching out to roofers, different sales coaches, different lead opportunities. I mean, there's different sales teams that are out there promoting their business. But, I think the roofing business has really taken a head in the positive direction. I think for a long time it had a negative connotation or whatever that right word. I'm not very good at the English language, but whatever that negative aura about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's changing, and I think it's changing in the right direction. And once we get good people in this business, it's going to stay positive. But, there'll always be those bad companies that have that bad reputation. But the way I look at it, they'll weed themselves out after a while. That your customer service and your reputation will carry you through the business for sure.
Maybe one day they'll make roofing licensing kind of like some other stuff where if you lose your license, you can't get it anywhere anymore, type of thing. These guys that are doing fraud and stuff. So
yeah, man,
who knows?
Yeah, we have no idea what this roofing business is going to entail. I just heard rumors. I won't say who it's, but they're saying in Florida that insurance companies are switching where they tell you who you to use on the roofing claim. So stuff is moving in a weird direction. We don't know how this is going to go, but if you're an insurance company and relying on it, it's not going to be there forever. And switch to that retail market because roofs wear out, roofs leak, and I would highly suggest switching to this retail model for sure.
Yeah, and I've heard that too. There's quite a few carriers, and not just in Florida, but they're hey, they've gotten their guy who they've sent out to look at it, not an adjuster to look at it to say, yeah, it's in good order. It's before they even sign for these larger projects.
Yep.
Hey, yeah, this is what it's going to take to do this roof. And, obviously that's going to fluctuate a little bit based on material price and everything else. But it's like right now, this is where it is. And so that way they can pull that in and say, and obviously they'll pay a little bit more, but they're going to pay substantially less.
Over the time, yeah. And some of these insurance companies are saying, hey, this is your guaranteed price and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, it's going in a weird direction. We don't know ever how it's going to keep going, but stay strong and we'll work as a team, I guess. And, stay retail, think retail first, insurance later, because insurance isn't always guaranteed.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So if you guys want to get together with David and get together with the coaching team at the Roofing Academy, you can go to roofingacademy.com, and they're also on Facebook. And if you need any help as far as consulting, estimates, or supplements, you can contact me at 720-702-1938 or at jason@furtadolaw.solutions. So thanks a lot, David, and we'll let you go so you can get back to watching the Masters.
The Masters. Let's go Tiger, baby.